Hey, before we start, let's set up the Python environment on your computer. In this course, we'll be using the Python version 3.7, which is a stable version of Python and widely used in the industry. There is another version called Python 2, which will be retired soon. So make sure that you are installing Python 3.7. For this video, I'm using a Windows 10 operating system to demonstrate this installation because when we talk to the students, a lot of them use Windows laptop. So I'm making this video on Windows 10 operating system, unlike my other videos which are typically done on Mac. So if you are using a Windows operating system, copy this URL and paste it in the web browser and hit enter. It will download the installer for Python 3.7.2. After downloading this file, double click on it and follow the instructions to install Python. It is important to check this option add Python 3.7 to path. This ensures that the Python interpreter is placed in your execution path so that you will be able to run Python code seamlessly. After this, click install now. It will start installing Python 3.7 on your system. Generally, the installation takes a minute or two. So meanwhile, let's look at how to install Python on macOS and Ubuntu. If you are using macOS, it comes pre-installed with 2.7. Since we are using Python 3.7, I would suggest you to copy this URL and paste it in the web browser so that it will download Python 3.7.2 on Mac, and then follow the instructions to install 3.7 version on your macOS. In case if you are using Ubuntu or any other Linux operating system, it comes pre-installed with Python 3, so there is no need to install anything from your side. You can check its version just by opening the terminal and type python-v or python 3-v and hit enter. It will show the version of Python which is installed on your Ubuntu system. Just make sure that you are installing Python 3 in this course because the code that you'll come across in this course may not be compatible with older versions like Python 2. Right? So please use Python 3.7 for this course. Now let's go back to the installation on Windows and see what happened there. Now it shows setup was successful, so you can close this. Now if you want to check if Python is installed properly or not, you can launch the Python interpreter on Windows just by going to the command prompt. You can launch the command prompt by clicking Windows button plus R, which will bring up this small dialog box. In this, you just type cmd and hit enter. It will open up the command prompt in which you can check whether Python is installed properly or not. You can verify it by giving the command python-v, which shows Python 3.7.2. So our Python installation is successful. You can launch the Python interpreter just by entering Python. It will show something like this, which means you are in the Python interpreter. You can exit from this Python interpreter just by giving command exit like this. If you want to check out all the versions for any operating system, you can just go to the official downloads page of Python. I'll share this presentation with you so that you will have all these download links handy. Now, after installing Python, you need an editor to write code in. You may use any plain text editor like Notepad or gedit or vi editor or any other plain text editor. But in this course, we'll be using an IDE called PyCharm, which is an excellent tool for writing Python programs. And we'll be extensively using this PyCharm IDE to develop our code in this course. So you can download this PyCharm IDE by going to this link. You can just copy this and paste it in your web browser. It will take you to the downloads page of PyCharm IDE. Here in this downloads page, you can find options for Windows, Mac or Linux, and they have two editions. The first one is the professional edition, which is a paid version, whereas the second one is the community edition, which is free and open source. You can just download this community edition. This will be sufficient for all the programs that we do in this course. So you can just click on this download button so that it will download the community edition of PyCharm IDE. After downloading this, you can just double click on this installer. It will open a dialog box like this. There is no need to check any installation options. You can just keep on clicking next, next, and then install. It takes a couple of minutes to install this PyCharm IDE. Once the installation is done, you can check this option Run PyCharm Community Edition and click Finish. And when you run this PyCharm IDE for the first time, it will ask you to accept the user policy. Once you confirm, it will go to the next window, and here you can customize the PyCharm theme. Either you can have dark theme or light theme, and then there is no need to install any of these options. Just click on Start using PyCharm, and then we are done with the initial setup of PyCharm. It brings up this window where you can create new project. Alright, on Ubuntu you can also install PyCharm IDE using command line. You can use these commands to install PyCharm Community Edition on Ubuntu through terminal. Of course, there are numerous Python interpreters available online which lets you write programs and execute from within the browser. There is no need to have any installation on your computer. So we use onlinegdb.com for sharing our programs in this course. You can just go to this website and start writing your programs and execute within the browser itself. And we'll also use an excellent tool called Python Tutor, which you can use it to write Python code from within your web browser and visualize its execution step by step. So we'll be using these two websites also extensively in this course.